Canadians, the ones we know and love, are being targeted for genocide. It's not just the genocide of Indigenous people anymore. I know because I'm Indigenous, and what Canadians are experiencing today is exactly what we experienced for the last 150 plus years.
Look around you. White people are being systematically destroyed. White people are being stabbed, shot, assaulted, and beaten every single day, and nobody cares. Nobody mourns, nobody stands up, they laugh, they clap, they celebrate our death like it's a sport. How many times have we seen this? A young white girl is assaulted and murdered by a migrant, a white man stabbed in broad daylight, families destroyed, and the media, they bury it, they twist headlines.
The data now shows us that the majority of those individuals, both immigrating, temporary foreign workers, asylum seekers, the majority are of the Indian culture. Which I find really interesting is the asylum seeker piece, because India is the largest democracy in the world. So what exactly are you seeking asylum from? Or are you taking advantage of a broken system? Look, I don't blame anybody. The government of Canada is at fault here. There are no cultures that are at fault here. But I'll tell you where you are at fault. I just got back to Canada less than 2 months ago after living in Mexico for the last 6 months. I went there and it was my job as a foreigner in their country to learn how they live, to learn their language, to learn their cultures, to learn their traditions, to learn what kindness means to them, because it's not the same for everyone, to learn how they like to be interacted with, how they receive respect and what their version of respect is, because not all cultures share that same. So I can go on and on about the actions that I took to assimilate into their country. I ultimately made the decision to leave because I was alone in Mexico. The location that I was at was probably not the right location for a single woman. And ultimately their culture was not suitable for me. So instead of make excuses for how horrible the Mexican people were, because they were not, I left.
Yeah, I don't know how to read a map. I don't know how to read my phone, so I have to stop and ask. And then block the highway, 2 trucks, this one, another one. And these guys, yeah. Yeah, but you should be able to read your map. You should be able to read your map. Come on. Did you check their logbooks? Well, why? Why? They're here. Check their logbooks. Check. Because there's all kinds of these people all over. Check their logbooks. Check their logbooks. Are they legal? Are they legal to be on the highway? No. You. I'm not stepping out of the way. Are they legal to be on the highway? Does he have an AZ license? Well, you have a reason. He stopped and asked you for directions. He stopped and asked you for directions. Why won't you shut up? Don't talk to my daughter, you piece of...
You know, I had my other account taken down because I was really quite vocal on my opinion when it comes to the trucking industry. And I'm not going to change my opinion on that at all. I guess if I lose another account, I'll lose another account. But I'm a firm believer that when you load a truck up and it's rolling down the highway at 100 kilometers an hour, you better make good and goddamn sure you got somebody that knows what they're doing behind the wheel. This of hiring all these new Canadians and they drive these semis like they're sports cars, it's a recipe for disaster. There's just simply no way around that. I'll tell you what I see as the biggest problem these days, okay? The logbooks now are all on your phone. They're just logged in automatically. So you don't have to write the English, you don't have to read the English, you don't have to do anything. You stop and the thing logs you out, and you start and the thing logs you in. And the trucks are automatics, okay? Or at least all the trucks that these guys drive. So They can't back up, and all they know how to do is hold onto the steering wheel and drive as fast as they can to make as much money as they can. That's what they know. That's the way it is in the country they came from, and they're not leaving that skill set behind. They're bringing it with them. And anybody that doubts that, just look at the increase on highway fatalities, the increase in accidents. Go to any big tow dealership, tow truck company, and ask them, when you get calls, who's the vast majority of the people that you're rescuing? They'll tell you. Don't believe me? Do your own research. This has to stop. We cannot sacrifice human lives, no matter who they belong to, in the pursuit of cost savings on the highway. That's just not okay. We wouldn't hire pilots that were the most inexpensive, would we? We try to hire the best, don't we? Why do we have any different standard for the highway? This has to stop.
Politicians across Canada are calling for the end of the temporary foreign worker program, and a lot of businesses are getting upset because they allege that they cannot operate without using temporary foreign workers. Here's the thing, if you're a business that refuses to pay Canadians a livable wage and instead desires to bring in cheap labor from other countries that are willing to work for the lowest amount of money physically possible, I don't think that you're a business that deserves to exist. I don't care if you're a Tim Hortons or a farm. I don't care if you're an auto sector manufacturer. I don't care what you are. If you are actively undercutting the Canadian working class by bringing people in and refusing to pay Canadians a livable wage, I don't want you to exist. This, by the way, is not a slight against the foreign workers. They want to come here, they want to live a better life. I don't blame them. There are literally hundreds of thousands of Canadians across this country that are willing to work, that want to work, that cannot get jobs because those jobs are being handed to people who are willing to come here to work for cheap. I believe the corporations that perpetuate this cycle are evil and honestly should just go away.
I thought with the new implications of LMI being stopped, there will be less people who will be selling LMIAs. But see that price? And the biggest thing is they need experience in welding. No person ever is gonna get experienced in 1 year till the time he has bought that license paid up from his pocket. There has been an exchange of information transfers, cash deals, and these are the people that are gonna sell these LMI at reasonable prices, pay these guys the minimum wage and pocket everything. And you know what's funny? Where is it coming from? You would have guessed it. As usual, the common culprits, Brampton. Name? I couldn't even open up his profile. Now you can imagine how much of BS is going on in this hard times that these people do not even give a about what they gotta do, how they gotta do, and give the job to an actual genuine person. No, because they want to pocket some money. They want to get that 19,000, 20,000. There will be other associated fees, lawyer fees, this fees, that fees, and these are the people that are never going to get a PR, and they will be blamed to the core itself that you bought this LMIA. Now, everyone, be cautious of what you're getting into. If you find this person, report him. If you can spread this message of getting into something better, making sure that the other individual are not a part of the scam, please share these videos. Please. Hope this helps, and be cautious, guys. Look at what we have brought ourselves into. That doesn't even look like a new, like a actual name itself, and it's created in 2025. So all the best. I hope you do not get into any kind of these scams.
Ready to put your brand in the spotlight? Partner with Toronto Unfiltered. Our marketing team is ready to create content that doesn't just promote, but truly connects. We'll work with you to understand your goals, shape your message, and make sure your brand stands out in a meaningful way. In October, we'll be launching a live Call-In Unfiltered podcast. This is more than sponsorship, it's collaboration. By joining forces with us, your brand becomes part of the story, part of the conversations, and part of the movement that's shaping how Toronto is seen and heard. So if you're ready to create something unforgettable, let's make it happen. Contact us today at torontounfiltered@outlook.com. Share your vision, and together we'll deliver a maximum impact. Toronto Unfiltered, the truth you can trust and the platform where your brand belongs.
Toronto Unfiltered, bringing the news. The real truth they don't show you. Raw talking Toronto, Canada too. Unfiltered, straight to you. Toronto Unfiltered, the truth you can trust.